Hey, so much better when I actually add myself to the stream. Welcome. It is Thursday afternoon. No, Tuesday afternoon here in Seattle. It is 2:30 and meds adjustments are making my brain just do some really weird things today, like probably not know what day of the week it is. Not that that seems to be that abnormal. Anyway, glad that you guys made it. Hope you're having a lovely week wherever you are. It is actually moderately nice here in Seattle, and I'm excited about that. I've realized that, I've pretty much survived a year of working from home in a pandemic, and it's nice to see that things are at least on the up and up as far as the weather and being able to spend some time outside and seeing some daylight. That being said, hopefully everything is going well. Hey, Beth, welcome. Glad to see you made it. And yeah, hopefully things are good for you. I know that I am going to be spending some time today trying to get ready for a internship coaching by email for the Tiny Habits certification I'm doing. So I kind of know where my focus is going to be today. That is not the one I wanted to click on. But yeah, as always, wondering what people are up to, and feel free to share in the comments if you want some accountability, or even if you don't. But there's a lot to be said for telling yourself out loud what you're doing, and then if it's even still distracting, creating a note, clearing everything else off your workspace, and focusing on that. Anyway, with that being said, I was thinking I had another thought I wanted to add, and I am not really sure what it was anymore. I will go ahead and just say that, I'm going to go ahead and start the first 25-minute sprint. If there's anything else you need in the moment before you kind of shift gears, now would be a good time to get it. I am going to go find some water because that is actually, I'm really thirsty, and I know when I'm distracted, focus of any type is just kind of further and harder to get to. So I will do a call out at 5 minutes before the end of the sprint and talk to folks then. Just over 5 minutes. All right, that was 25 minutes. How did that go for folks? I've decided to, you know, again, sometimes I realize I have to switch gears, and, I'm groggy enough from, again, lack of sleep and meds change that, realizing that I don't have the bandwidth to update templates, but, really anything productive is good. So, hey, Rob or Dia Rob, glad to see you made it. And so really I'm replying to emails and setting up some other things that, are immediately relevant and don't require as much mental bandwidth. And, that's really a good place for me to be too, because, it's all getting done. And right now, trying to force myself into doing something where I'm staring at a email for like 3 or 4 minutes and nothing is coming out of my fingers. Not a good use of my time or my energy or my stress. So again, as always, people totally have permission to switch gears if you realize something isn't working. And not that most people really should need my permission or really anyone's permission to do that, but it's really easy to get stuck in a rut of going, this isn't working. And recognizing that, I think, is a big skill in and of itself, to recognize and then to be like, okay, well, if this isn't working, what is going to work? And, is that redoing the task? Is that taking a break? Is that doing something else? I'm also kind of tracking my energy this week, because it seems like things have been all over the place. And, it's kind of interesting to watch it ebb and flow, and really coming back and matching your workload to where your natural energy is, makes things way more effective. So again, if things are stuck or mid-afternoon is not your good time, trying to plan your most intense work at that time just might be frustrating. Anyway, hopefully that was effective, whatever people were up to. Feel free to share progress if you want. And yeah, it's a concept that, makes a lot of intuitive sense, but a lot of us, we don't really function that way. It's like, no, I have to be productive, and this is what I've decided productive is at 3 to 4 o'clock today or whatever. And, sometimes it doesn't work. And, if there are other smaller or different tasks that are also effective, switching into doing something that leaves you feeling less like you're beating yourself up is, actually way better. And, knowing that, often if it's something big and important, even if you can break it down into a smaller task, or, figure out what's the first step that, if you don't want to make a phone call, maybe just even writing down the phone number and getting ready to call later is enough to get you over that hump of avoiding it. Lots of little tricks that, you can figure out over time to sort of work through things. And yeah, for right now, well, I continue to use these to actually give me a reason to sit down and do work that is important, but I maybe would, not be doing because I'd be like, oh, I'm tired. And so at least being here and sitting at my computer for an hour, hour and a half, depending on how I'm feeling, I am getting stuff done, and it's all moving me forward. It's good. So I'm, always curious to see and hear what people are doing. Again, I always appreciate being here with somebody else virtually, at least knowing that I'm not the only one working, at least in theory. And it's just kind of cool to know that there are other people that are actually working on stuff also. Always welcome to have people drop into comments what they're going on. Feels kind of weird to have a one-sided conversation with myself. And even reading comments is not quite the same in interactive, but it's still kind of cool. That's an interesting struggle. Words are a problem today. But well, Sometimes you can only do what you can do. And, if you can figure out a way to, even focus for, 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes that forward movement and being excited about even the small progress is a great place to start. Anxiety freezes us in place. So anytime, we're feeling crappy about something, that usually doesn't lead to any forward progress. So finding a way to, kind of work with yourself and your energy is a good place. Welcome, Rosalind. We are here for you, and always exciting to see what other people can offer as far as insight into getting going on a project. Because there are lots of different ways, and it's always amazing to see the different bits that people come up with. Um, and sometimes even setting a super low goal and then, being excited when you hit the super low goal. And that's all you have to do. It's like, okay, I only need to write for 3 minutes. And after that, if I want to keep going, great, I totally will. But 3 minutes, I can do 3 minutes. And, whatever it is. Yeah, anyway, I think we've hit probably close to a 5-minute break. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start sprint number 2 if my computer will cooperate with me today. Anyway, kind of loopy. So yeah, my strategy is, again, for this next set is continuing to do whatever I need for my homework that actually sounds appealing and is on the checklist if needs to be done. And, feel free to drop in what your intention for the next 20 minutes is, 25 minutes. And we can hopefully cheer everyone on whatever they get through. And so that being said, I guess I should update my tickers to what I'm doing, but I'm going to go ahead and start this. I will do a 5-minute call out before the end of the session, so 20 minutes. And that's just to bring people back if, like me, you find you're down a YouTube rabbit hole or something. Just refocus and move on. Just over 5 minutes? All right, and that was the end of sprint number 2 at 25 minutes. This is a really good time to get up and stretch or move or whatever in some fashion. Really does help with the brain chemicals and yeah, brains like movement, bodies like movement. Moving for a couple minutes in between projects is a good plan. I'm going to have to take myself up on this reminder. You'd think I'd be better about it, being I'm always saying this, and at least when I verbalize it, I do tend to pause and get up afterwards. I will go ahead and run one more 15-minute sprint today because I forgot I have something I've got to do at the top of the hour. So I was going to try and run a third 25-minute sprint, but that's not going to give me enough time to make my other meeting and be in a good place for that one. Anyway, how did that go for folks? I was actually able to get through a video intro for the tech platform that I'm using for this apprenticeship program, which is cool and nice to be able to see that. Congrats on the 194 words, Dia. I never know if I should address people by their yeah, exactly how to address people given handles, but I figure, you know, if I say something really weird and somebody wants to be called something else, you'll let me know. I've also been trying to not overthink too many things because I usually make it far worse in my head than, you know, it is in, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for being here today, and glad to see that people are getting some success. Congrats on moving forward on projects. This is actually, it's exciting. It makes me excited to see other people moving forward and makes me move forward better. So thank you for sharing and giving me some mental energy, because today is, yeah, definitely in need. Not in a bad mood, just kind of mentally somewhere that's not entirely here. And that being said, yeah, stretching, walking, moving around for a couple minutes. I will do that once I restart the timer for a couple minutes, but I always feel kind of weird getting up and I'm like, hey, let's have a break. And, you know, and somehow I'm, yeah, again, I'm still getting used to this whole people are watching me thing. This might not be the ideal time for me to get up and go do something else. Well, Beth, I'm glad that, you know, it's fun that you're enjoy participating, you know, via, you know, the random me talking and you replying. It's just kind of fun. I enjoy, you know, the whole process of being here. Way more than I expected when I started doing these in November for Nano, just because, yeah, I figured it was going to be a good way for me to get some stuff done. But, you know, the fact that I'm still doing this 4 months, 5 months later is kind of weird to me. Anyway, it's kind of fun to, you know, get to know people a little bit and see how projects are progressing and all of that. And so far, no one has been like, oh my God, you suck, which is, I guess, yeah, me and my self-judgment and the harshness that, you know, I certainly have my own internal voices as well as most other people. So just in case anyone was wondering if there's any self-doubt, yeah, something that I'm pretty sure everyone's got going, or at least a lot of people have going on. And, you know, not the end of the world, but, you know, certainly something I deal with. Don't always talk about it, but, you know, I'm also a big mental health advocate, and so I think we should be allowed to talk about more of this stuff. You know, the positive as well as the negative, you know, because it's like, oh, we're not allowed to get too excited and we're not allowed to be too upset. So we just have to be kind of in the middle, and there's a weird balance to try and strike. Anyway, in order for me to make my 4 o'clock meeting, I'm going to keep this break short. If you need a little bit longer to sort of do the 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, because I know that, you know, really switching gears, giving your brain a couple minutes break, doing a couple deep breaths, closing your eyes, doing whatever, your brain actually needs time to disengage. And, you know, switching over to answering email in between writing is actually not a break. Your brain needs, you know, some time to switch which neural networks it's using. And, writing uses a different neural network and it needs time to reset. And so, giving yourself that time is actually sort of the slow down, speed up mantra that I try and remind myself of sometimes. Anyway, this is probably about where I start this. I'm not going to do a call out on this one because it is short, and I will talk to you in 15 minutes. All right, and that was the end of sprint number 3 at 15 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for hanging around for an extra few minutes today. And if you want to drop what you got done into the comments, cool. If not, also cool. And anyway, thank you all for being here. It's I've also decided that, you know, I want to get back into doing at least the 750 words kind of from the artist's way a couple times a week. I type them instead of writing them, and well, we got through about 500 of them in that time frame. But being a stream of conscience is kind of whatever comes out is fine. And believe me, there's no narrative or any sense to half of it, and that's okay. Anyway, thank you for being here. I will be back Tuesday morning. Actually, I might not be. I take that back. I have a doctor's appointment. I will be here, but I will be late, and it all depends on how long we run. Anyway, I've already rescheduled it like 3 times, and I'm like, oh, wait, I can't reschedule that again. So I will be here when I'm done, but if you don't see me right at 10:15, just know that that's what's going on, and I will be there. Glad to keep people honest, and, you know, glad to be encouraging. And again, I think it's way easier to be encouraging to write off of the energy of others, you know, and so instead of trying to keep ourselves A, accountable, and B, congratulating, there's a lot to be said for using the energy of others. So thank you guys for being here as well, and thanks for moving forward, and I will catch people later.